What's good, y'all? It's your boy Chief the OG back again with another Rich Before 30 podcast. And today we're picking up at Chapter 6, The Best Worry. It's been a minute, it's been a few weeks, and with anything creative, I always feel that you should only do the creative thing when you feel creative. You know, when you feel like doing it. You can't force creativity. When you force creativity, it becomes a task and you kind of dull down your creativity. And there'd be no spark, basically. And I needed a break. And here I am, I'm back and glad to see you. If you follow me on any other social medias, you'll see that I just posted my album art for my debut album, Chief, which is releasing this June. And I still got my hair braided like the photo. But that's the reason for my do-rag and my slick look. I'm fly. Never mind that. In our last episode, I went over some key points in my book that I referenced from the 48 Laws of Power. A couple of which were win through your actions and not through argument, recreate yourself, and also be sure to plan all the way to the end. I got a little bit of detail on these. Now I was sure to describe how to go about winning through your actions and letting your actions speak for themselves. If you're better, just show that you're better. There's no need to say it. In our last session, I related recreating yourself to a brand recreation. But I want to be more literal and more specific about recreating yourself. So by recreating yourself, you can even recreate your thought process. You can recreate the way you think, the way you perceive things. If you're still thinking the way you were yesterday, you're living in the past. You got to think new. You got to think creation. You got to think growth. Think expansion. I recently saw on TikTok, a guy said, he's not chasing his dreams. He's living his dreams. And I always feel like, of course, I'm living my dream. But his perspective was that if he's only doing what he imagines himself doing, then he's just doing him. He's not trying. He's not chasing. He's just living. In doing this and thinking this way, you're essentially recreating yourself. Another example for you, if that flew over your head, I recently saw an artist and she decided to live the dream version of her life or create a, what is it called? Alter ego. Now I think alter egos can be a case of split personality or just your own conscious fighting against itself. Now in this case, the person decided that her alter ego would do all of the things that she wished she would do or would have done. Live her dream life, basically. Car, house, whatever it was, this alter ego was going to make sure to get it done. Even if it was showing off on social media or being an influencer, whatever it was, whatever the dream was. If it was to be a chef, that was what the alter ego would do. And she suggested being the alter ego fully for 30 days. And I believe that for someone who has lost complete hope in their self, in themselves, and for someone who has the perspective that there is no way that they can be this successful person, but someone else can be, then this girl's option might be for you. On the contrary, I like to present the idea that you should become this dream version of yourself and live that life daily. Don't worry about your past. You thinking about your past and things that you've been through that have made you the way you are and thinking that there's no way that you can make it, but an alter ego could potentially make it. It's a radical idea, and to be honest, it's kind of a practice of self-hate. Because if you like the person you are, you wouldn't desire to change unless it was for the better. And there may not necessarily be a desire to change as a person, but to change your surroundings and to change what you put into the universe. Decide to give the universe the version of yourself that you want to see, and you'll begin to see this new version of yourself. I've seen my own recreation before my eyes. Although I may look the same, I feel completely different. I feel more at peace. I don't feel the need to impress. I don't feel the need to impress anyone but myself. Next, planning all the way to the end. Most people are excited to reach the end goal. The issue becomes you don't plan through the goal. So it's not just planning to the end, but you got to plan through the end. Let me explain. For example, I create music and I'm also a record label owner. One of my great friends and an artist on my record label recently released an album, and after releasing the album, felt kind of a depression. Almost like what to do. Lost in a sense. I had to explain to him that the issue lied in his expectations and also not planning through. My friend spent years working on this album. Countless days and nights listening and critiquing the songs, and then even critiquing the album artwork, which all led up to finally releasing the album. But once the album was released, he didn't know what to do next. And it's like, okay, of course, you promote it, right? But then what? So to cut through all the bullshit, whatever it is you want to do in your life, if you want to become a doctor, you get your degree, what are you going to do next? Where are you going to work? If you want to create that business you desire so much, after you create the business and you got the business name and you got the products to start the business, then what? For example, let's use lemonade. Say you create a lemonade business and you get the packaging and the branding all together. You decide to release this lemonade, and within the first week, you get a few purchases, but it may not be quite what you expected. But then the question becomes, what did you expect? If you expect grand sales, then you should plan to gain grand sales. In essence, you may have just planned to produce the product and not planned all the way through. Look at the shit that you've done in your life and appreciate it. Appreciate the moments, the memories. If you love what you do, there's no reason you can't do it again. Don't let anyone's opinion change the way you feel about your accomplishments. In essence, every day you wake up, you should only worry about being the best version of you. You should always try to do everything that you could possibly imagine in a day. And some days, if you just want to chill, that's okay too. To avoid being lazy, there's something called the 2-day rule. You're allowed to take 1 day off, but never 2 in a row. Just keep moving. Keep pushing. Go forward and accomplish your dreams. I promise you I planned on making more progress in the book, but I really wanted to reiterate some of those concepts. Giving a new perspective or hearing something explained just a little bit differently can give you a whole new outlook. I'll see you next week. I'm Chief the OG, and this is the Rich Before 30 podcast.